We have a live look for you tonight at App State in Boone. Obviously, school's back in session, but students there are back in class, of course, after Hurricane Helene just washed out roads and flooded much of the student housing on campus. WCNC Charlotte's Michelle Bowden spoke to students from the Charlotte area who dealt with a mudslide in their home and are now grateful to be back at school.
A lot of students at App State are adjusting to a new norm. So many were impacted by the flooding, had to find new housing. These students, though, in this story, they actually had a mudslide come into their house.
Clegg Roe narrowly missed being buried under this mess.
And around 10:45 that morning, a landslide came down from the street and the hill above us and took out my bedroom and our front porch. And so we all grabbed what we could and evacuated down to a parking garage a little ways down the street.
But had you been in your bedroom, you would have been engulfed by mud basically, or?
Yes, ma'am. I would have been, well, my bed is kind of all twisted up. I probably would have looked a little bit like a pretzel coming out of that.
The App State student who grew up in Hickory lived in a house with a bunch of guys just 3 minutes off campus.
We heard a bunch of cracking noises, and the three of us that were in the living room, and my dog was in the living room with us also, we turn around and just see it all just get wiped out.
Forbes Wallace, a Myers Park High graduate and junior now at App State, wasn't far away in another house.
When I woke up in the morning, I walked outside and I was like, all right, the rain's pretty hard. The water's like maybe 4 or 5 inches in our yard. And so I went to check our basement, and you saw the first step to walk down and it was water. And so our whole property had flooded.
He is grateful, though, his house didn't suffer any more damage.
Other than having to replace all of our furniture, we were good. We were very fortunate.
School was canceled for 3 weeks, and both guys went back several times to volunteer with cleanup efforts across the college town.
I think, honestly, the amount of support that Boone has just offered in general is unreal. I mean, the other day people went out to volunteer, but they said there were 1,000 people at 7:30 a.m.
It's been hard for me to wrap my head around still. I'm still trying to figure out what really happened, and I'm really just glad to be here right now and not have been in my room at the time.
Roe has found new housing. Both students are now back in class. The bad news with all of this, though, the students who were impacted by the flooding, for the most part, did not have insurance and are having to cover their own losses. Michelle Bowden, WCNC Charlotte.